Our big story tonight is that potential new mandate forcing state employees to return to the office.
And 12 News political director Matt Smith live at 6th and Wells for us tonight. Matt, Assembly Speaker Robin Vos revealing that proposal to you exclusively on Upfront.
And Deanna, tonight the fallout as new reaction is just coming in tonight as the Evers administration and state look to sell state buildings like this and consolidate in downtown Milwaukee. Tonight, top Republicans saying they want to force state employees back into the office. Tonight, the proposal. Top Republicans now looking to mandate state employees return to the office.
I think it was some employees hadn't been in the office in months and months.
State employees,
State employees, yeah, state employees. That's really an embarrassment.
Assembly Speaker Robin Vos exclusively on Upfront. You want to force them back into the office?
I would love to be able to say people have to be back in the office at least 3 or 4 days a week. I think we need to look at how state government functions, and one of the reasons that we have not had the services we want to deliver is because a lot of employees aren't working, or they're working only from home and not doing it very well with little supervision.
The state in recent years looking to get a better handle on just how many employees are working remotely. A state audit last year finding consolidation of numerous state office buildings could result in $9 million in building savings and hundreds of millions more in deferred maintenance.
And I think we're going to see that the proposals are not only going to bring in additional revenue for the state, but that this consolidation of buildings could really lead to making sure that having hybrid options puts us in a good competitive state to make sure that we're attracting workers into the public sector.
Representative Francesca Hong, a Democratic member of the Joint Audit Committee.
It's disappointing but not surprising that the Speaker doesn't recognize that we have one of the highest worker participation rates that we've seen in years.
State auditors visited 15 agencies as part of the report, finding the average proportion of workstations in use ranged from 0 to 34.5%.
I would love for us to be able to say, hey, if we're going to be giving more money to agencies, we need to make sure we're actually performing. If we're going to give raises to employees, they have to actually have performance metrics.
Matt, Speaker Vos said this would be part of the next state budget proposal. The governor, a Democrat, would need to sign off.
And Deanna, tonight the governor's office is responding in a statement exclusively to 12 News saying state workers don't need a lecture in productivity from the guy who led the least active full-time legislature in America during the worst economic crisis in a decade. If the speaker is looking for people who aren't doing work very well, it seems his branch of government would be a good place to start.
And political director Matt Smith leading us off here live in Milwaukee.